Good morning for a second morning from Kaunas. We will be going south of the walking street, whereas yesterday was predominantly north of the walking street. Today, the other half, south side, Kaunas Central. Oh, here's the Shilas place. Shilas supermarket, 7:30 in the morning, 11 at night. Very, very convenient. And what's more, it's a damn good supermarket. It really is. Cheaper than the icky supermarket down the road. And yeah, it's got pretty much just about everything you could possibly want as far as I'm concerned. Today's lunch will be a slice of pizza. 95 euro cents. Bob's your auntie. Where I thought I'd start this morning is showing you the walk from the Monk's Bunk Hostel, or pretty much from anywhere in the locality of the centre, with this walking street being so significant, a vein running through the heart of Kaunas. You can, I think, use this as a very good indicator of where you are in comparison staying in your accommodation. If for any reason you're not a backpacker and you're not staying at the Monk's Bunk, you'll recognise where I'm going. We're going to look at what happens if we are catching a flight from Kaunas and we're heading to the airport. You can see here, there's the hostel, marked as a little house, and is this a way around? So we're going to turn right, go past Green Cafe, take the first left, and then the first right, and there you are. There's the bus stop you need. So let's take that walk and I'll show you. Isn't it very, very useful having an airport bus stop so close? I think so, because if you're flying Ryanair, for example, and you've got a flight at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're very grateful for this bus service and the proximity to where you may well indeed be staying. Similarly, if you're arriving late from Kaunas Airport and the bus brings you here close to the hostel, it's nice to think you don't have far to bring your luggage or to negotiate your way through unknown streets to get to your accommodation, because some of those best deals with the flights, as we already know, of course, they take off early in the morning and they land late at night. It's a bus number 29G. The whole journey takes, ballpark figure, 40 minutes, sometimes a couple of minutes more, sometimes a couple of minutes less, depending on the amount of traffic, but work on it being around 40 minutes. Here's the left turn at the fountain, so you can't really go wrong. We're on Dow Canto, and when we reach the intersection with this road, we don't cross with the traffic lights unless we want to pop into the Shilas supermarket over there. And here's the bus stop. It's as simple as that. Just jump on the 29G and very soon you'll be at the airport. And if you're on this hunt for street art, you might want to cross with the traffic lights, because here just up on the left is another one on the list. Nothing special though, as I think you'll agree. Still, it's another one we can tick off the list, and you never know until you see it just how dramatic or impressive the work is going to be, do you? I like these old Art Deco style lamps. Don't know about you, And the bridge, as you can see, first of all, goes over a fair stretch of land and lanes of traffic before we actually get to the water. So it looks like, God, the river must be so broad. Look at the width of that bridge. But in actual fact, it's not quite the case. And this is the Nemunas river. We saw its twin the other day, the Neris, and approximately where the two met in the vicinity of Kaunas castle. And this is a little bit downstream before there. In the distance, Acropolis, the shopping mall, which is a focal point. Big Maxima supermarket among other outlets there. And the bus station behind. But for now, let's just walk a little way along this bridge, but not too far, because I am determined not to go across the river just yet. And I'll tell you for why. It's quite obvious, I think, when you see the map. If we cross the river here, we won't go across the river as such, we will go onto an island, which in itself may be very interesting for you. I see it's a huge recreational area, park and car park, it seems, for whatever's going on in that big building. It's the Žalgirio Arena, a sports arena. Big on basketball, of course, here. There's a footbridge over there in the distance. Don't forget, bring your bug repellent. If you're susceptible to fall victim of midges and our worst enemy, the mosquitoes, of course. There's some nice birdies flying around there. I wish my eyesight was better. Black wings, white on their back, and they're about the size of larks, I suppose. I really don't know what they are. If only I could get a close-up still photograph to show you. Or this was an excellent camera and I could really zoom in and see them in motion. Back then, from partway across this bridge, at the end of Daukanto Street, and we'll go back and... what's that I can smell? More street art. I know you love it, really. Hello, we've got two pieces, I think, and this one must be the one named Victory. And this one may or may not be called Art for the Centenary. Looks a bit like Mick Jagger after a haircut, doesn't it? Or is it just me? Michael Winner, for those who remember the director. And these two, anyone's guess. All theatrical figures, it seems. And from the beginning of the 1930s, the Jazz Age had reached Lithuania. So we've got some old original caricatures here, which may or may not be entertaining for some folk. This looks like Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth II. at their first meeting, doesn't it? Or is it just me? Oh, it's actually theatre in caricatures. I promise I didn't know that in advance. Here we've got a whopping girt leg. In fact, we've got a whopping girt body. What's all this about? Very nice calligraphy in Lithuanian. Don't you go thinking that's all, because just around the corner, there's always something lurking just around the corner, and this time it's a very pleasant surprise. So is this one art for the centenary? Art for the centenary? Or is it still somehow linked to the theatre and caricatures? Just look at the curves. It's enough to distract anyone, surely, from realising they're about to get their teeth drilled. Or pulled. Very nice. But at this intersection, over on t'other side, what I see is a Humana. Second-hand clothes shop, you never know. I'm always in the market for a little bit of an upgrade. I'm a bit worried about how long my hat's going to last, because it's really getting a bit dirty with all the sweatiness from my bald head. And the problem with it is, it's made of some kind of felt. Like I say, it's 100 years old. And you can't just bung it in the washing machine. It's Scheiße on my mind. He has Scheiße on his mind. And no, we're not related. I know what you're thinking. Art Deco-licious. But this has caught my eye. What's over there? Maybe time to wake up and smell the silver flowers. Large collection of busts in this park. This lies just on the south side of the walking street over there. And here is the musical theatre to my left. I'll just move to the side. I don't think we'll be any other wiser getting up close to read the inscriptions. And on the edge of Theatre Square, on the western side, suddenly out of nowhere, is this? A very well hidden tower. Presumably medieval. And what about this? Do we like it or don't we? What do you think? I'm going to surprise you by saying I'm not altogether opposed. Maybe it's because of the stark clash with something which is hugely reconstructed anyway from the past. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you happen to have ordered a pink lady, why not sit in the pink chair? Be a queen or a princess for the day. Go on, treat yourself if it's your birthday. Is there a little doorway here leading into a museum? Oh, it's a hookah lounge. Hookah as in, you know, the below, no, hang on. Got to rephrase my words. The bubbly scented tobacco pipe thing, water pipe. Yes. So don't go in there. Yes, and make a fool of yourself thinking it's something entirely different. You disgusting man. So not a historical museum opportunity, clearly. But what do I know? All a bit random. Basketball in the middle of a car park. Some of that luscious Lithuanian wood sculpture. Now, I do have a feeling we saw this building, the old fire station, from the bus as we approached the end of our trip from Klaipeda to Kaunas the other day. Strange place to put a piece of street art right behind an established tree. Maybe from this angle? Ooh, these wicked artists. This is obviously the better angle, but still making us work for our street art today. And I think I found a little hedge pig. And I've come out onto what effectively is an extension, a dog leg in the walking street. So after walking straight for so long, you then get to cross a road and hang a left slightly. This is going to lead you eventually to the old town. And en route, we're also going to see a little bit more of the street art, hopefully. Although the address of the next piece is a little bit confusing for me because it seems as though it should be on the Muno Gatvės, which is one we were already walking along, but right at the end, just around the left-hand side, past the Iki supermarket. Mention Iki supermarket because if you're not popping into any of the little cafes, of which there are absolutely dozens, then you might be a cheapskate like me, money conscious like me, and looking to get a bargain from the Iki pastries, savoury snacks, or sweet cakes on offer at a more affordable price. Attention has been drawn over here, not by this lady on the beach, but I think I touched on the other side of this spot yesterday. That's right, I didn't bother pursuing walking in this park because it seemed as though there were just a collection of lots of old pictures of people at the beach. Here we've got what appears to be, from the evidence of one of these characters, a bunch of naked guys in the Nemunas River. Back in the day, when you could do that kind of thing without getting arrested, I suppose. And here's a man without a plaque. But there is an engraving. Whether he was a famous swimmer, I don't know. Probably not in that long overcoat. Kasias Grinius. There's one to Google for you. There are a couple of other statues of guys in this particular park, so I'm not the only creepy looking fellow perusing in the park today. There's this one here, another Antonas. Get a bit of this attractive building in the background as well. Antonas Smetona, Mr. Cream, to his friends. Alexandras Stulginskis, has not been forgotten. Aha, Mr. Cream, Antanas Smetona, President of the Republic of Lithuania. Do I have an excuse for not knowing him? Brought up in England, I suppose. That's my excuse for a lot of things. Here's the Icky Express. Should you need to pop in, it's right opposite the park, to my right. And here's the underpass, which you need to negotiate to continue still further on the long walking street extension towards the old town. However, before I go down there, I'm just going to turn round left on Nimuno, because allegedly there's another piece of street art just here. There she blows. Ha. Okay, I'll be honest, it does look like it was done by a 5-year-old. And probably wasn't worth stepping out of our way for, but you don't know until you find them. And as you come up the steps out of the underpass, there's a little character you don't want to miss. It's not him. It's actually him. There he is, the little critter. I expect so many people attempt these, and the rest of them are all probably a whole lot more successful than I am. But don't make too much noise, he's sleeping. Something a little bit spooky in the courtyard just after the big white church, which is currently under renovation. It appears to be an outdoor terrace at the back of a restaurant Arrive. Are they cats? Do you think? Are they supposed to be cats? The walking street seems to go on forever.